All right, here's the video for lesson 5.01c, independent practice. Here's problem number one. And basically here, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna identify, oops, that came out too big. Let me make it skinnier. We're gonna identify the domain and the range of this relation. And remember, the word relation, this word here that I'm writing right now. Okay, so this word relation means a matching, a pair, you're pairing. And that's what this graph is doing. I know you probably learned about coordinates in sixth grade and in fifth grade, but here's a refresher. For example, I'm gonna start, let me use colors here. I'm gonna start with this point right over here. See this point here? Okay, I put it in yellow. This point is matched with a number from here. You see, I went down. This is called the X, and it's matching a number that is right here. That mark is between 8 and 9. So that will be 9. And if I do a table, and that's what I'm going to do, X and Y. So my X is 9. And I need to find out who is that 9 matching. That 9 is from the X. I want to find out who's matching with the Y. If you go to the side, you can see it's 10. Okay. So that's how I found the first one. Now let's do the same thing with the next dot. You can see this dot here, see, right there, is matching with a number from here. And the number that is between 2 and 4, that's going to be 3. So my next one, 3, is matching with, let's find out who is that dot matching with the Y. You can see it's going to be the number that is right here. That is between 0 and -2, and that will be -1. So that's why I put -1 here. I have another dot. So let me erase what I put in yellow. Okay. So I should have now erased the -1. Let me keep the -1 there. Now I'm going to go with this dot here, this dot. Okay. And this dot is matched with the X with 0. And in the Y, because it's on, see this line you see here, vertical, is called Y. Okay. That dot is on top of the -1. Okay. And that's how we got the matching or the pairing of that point. Let me erase what I put in yellow. We have another dot here, see, right there. And that dot is matched with 0 on the X. So we have another one, see? And that dot is on the Y-axis. That's how we call that vertical number line. And the dot is on top of the, it's in between 8 and 10. So that will be 9. So that will be 0, 9. And finally, the last dot, let me erase what I put in yellow. Okay. The last dot, this one here, is match up with what number on the X? With -1. So this mark right here is in between 0 and -2. That's -1. So -1. And at the same time, that dot is matched with the Y with the 9. And now that I did the table, all my X's, so all of these numbers here, all of these numbers here, are also called the domain. But when you write your answers, you're going to write it like this in between braces. And you're going to write them 9, 3, 0. Now you have a number repeated, you only write it once, and -1. Now sometimes it's better to write it in order. So I should have written it -1, 0, 3, and 9. And we call this the domain, which basically these are the X's. And then the range, okay, so let me change the color. The range, the word range, is going to be all the y's. Okay, and this will be called a range. Okay, so when you write the answer, again, I'm going to write 10. Now you see I have the -1 repeated. You only write it once. -1 and 9. Okay, and this will be the range. And this is how you're going to write it in the assignment, okay, in Canvas with the braces. And here's problem number 1. All right, let's go to the next one. Here's question number 2. Here they gave you a map. Remember, when you have these ovals, we call it a mapping. Look at the word right here, mapping. And let me change the color here to blue. The first oval, when I explained it, this was the X. The second oval was the Y. However, another name for the X is domain. So all of these numbers that I'm going to highlight in green, all of these numbers are the domain. Okay, so when you write your answer in here, you're going to put the braces. You're going to write -3, 0, 5, and 7. See, you're listing the numbers that are the X values, the domain values. And then the second oval, all of these numbers here are the range. So when you write your answer again, you're going to put it in between braces. -2, -1, 0, 5, and 8. Okay, and that's how you do problem number 2. Let's go problem 3. Here's problem number 3. Same idea as the previous one. Okay, this is a map, a mapping. Here we go with the word again, mapping. Okay, and all the numbers in the first oval are the X's. All the numbers in the second oval are the Y. But another name for the X's is domain. Okay, so all of these numbers you have inside the oval of the X's, all of these numbers are going to be the domain. When you write your answer in here, you have to write it in between the braces. So you're going to write -1, -2, separate the numbers with commas. 0, 3, 4, and 7. And then all the numbers that are inside the Y, see, all of these, okay, that will be the range. So another name for the Y is the range. Okay, so again, inside here, okay, you're gonna write, so you put the braces, and you're going to put the numbers. You're going to list all the numbers separated by commas. -2, 0, 5, 8. And that's how you do problem number 3. Let's go 4. All right, here in question number 4, they gave us a table. See, again, I went over this in previous classes. This is a table. You can see the first column are the X's. Second column are the Y's. Okay, another name for X is domain. Another name for the Y's is range. Okay, so all the numbers in the X column, okay, that will be the domain. So we're gonna list them inside here. So I have -8, -7, 5, 9, and 10. Okay, that's how you write in there. And then all the numbers in the Y column, all of these, okay, those are the range. Now, when you write this one, can you see that the -8 is repeated 5 times? You're not going to repeat it 5 times. You only write it once. Any number that is repeated, you only write it once, okay? And that's how you do this problem. Let's go to the next one. And here's question number 5. Again, we have a table. Remember that all the X values has another name. The X, we call it domain. And all the Y values. We call it the range. So all the numbers in the X column. So all of these here, see? That will be your domain. You're going to list the domain. Remember, write it in between braces. So we have -5. Now I have the 0 repeated. So we only write it once. So comma 0. And I have the 4 repeated. We only write it once. So 4. And that's it. You only write the number once. Now the range. You can see the range is all the numbers in the Y. So right here. See? So the range here, I'm going to put it in here. So it will be 0, -5, 12, 18, and 2. And that's how you do this problem. I hope this helps.